All right, we should be up and running, folks. Hello, Internet. How we doing? Back to the cat tonight. Might be a shorter one because we're just gonna do a couple parts for the bow gun, and then the pommel for the sword, and that's gonna be it. It doesn't help that I feel like I woke up with my head on wrong. I have not felt great all day. It didn't help that I didn't feel great last night either. It took me 4 hours to like finally go to sleep. And then I think the last couple nights I've gotten like 4 hours of sleep anytime I've went to sleep, which is, not great. Like, not at all whatsoever. But we have some stuff to talk about first before we get to the CAD. So we've got the box for Rider Galaxy S1. I'm going to pull up. I think I put in the Discord real quick as notes, so I don't get this wrong. And I'll point out things accordingly as we go. So, not only does this gives us the main wave in the chase, but it also gives us 2 of the extra figures they've been doing for stuff on the side. So, just to let me get this kind of like moved as much out of the way as I can. So here is our main wave. So we've got Xaid, we've got 01 Rising Hopper, we've got Ichigo, Nigo, Zet's Rising, or Zet's Impact. I about said Rising Impact. I'm like, no, that's wrong. It's just Impact. Muso, Xaid, Max Mighty, Genom, God Max Mighty, and then Arc 1. And then our chase is this fancier version of Muteki you see here. I believe someone in Discord said it was going to be like a gold variant, like a shiny gold variant of it, which that would assume so. But that's our main wave. Then we definitely have to look at this. We have which I think my notes are wrong on this. Because I grabbed my notes from the Facebook post from the group I'm in, which I believe is wrong, because that is regular Max Mighty, not God Max Mighty. I have that noted wrong. I need to go and fix that. Because the eyes are different. And I can tell that the eyes are different, so it's wrong. Also, the hair's... No, the hair's the right way. The hair's the right way on both of them. But anyway. We have Xaid Max Mighty, which is our giveaway figure. Which, that is their... Like, if you get a little thing, you can send it in and get this figure from their Chinese app and stuff. Something we can't really do outside of China, but that is the option there. And then on the other side... we have Muso, which looks to be a clear variant of, like a color clear variant of it. And that is the early purchase bonus. So if you pick up the full wave, you get little things that you can send in like 9 of and get this figure from the app, basically. So thankfully, nothing is exclusive chase-wise. There's just a fancier version of Muteki, which, hooray! I feel like someone in the Discord I was in was like misunderstanding like the information I posted, with being like, I don't like that they have exclusive forms and characters for like the giveaways and the early purchase bonus. I'm like, no, they don't. this is a different version of them. I didn't list them as a different, list what the version of them was because I couldn't tell because as you can see, the image is a bit crunchy. I'm guessing it looks like it's like a gold variant of Max Mighty is the giveaway. Like I said, a color clear version of Get a Muso is our early purchase bonus. And then I guess a shiny gold version of Muteki is the chase. But yeah, good stuff all around and really gives us an indication that like, hey, Showa will not be the exclusive Showa won't be exclusively in Starlight anymore. Because that was kind of the case going for a while, is that only the Showa writers were showing up in Starlight. They were not showing up in Defenders. Or, yeah, they weren't showing up in the Defenders waves, and they weren't showing up in Galaxy. They were only showing up in Starlight, and we are up to Amazon at this point. But here we have them. It's also interesting, and one of the folks in our Discord I was in very much pointed out, very repaint heavy wave. Since we have two Max Mighties, Ichigo and Nigo, which are repaints each other, and then not necessarily full repaints, but definitely sharing parts across Muteki and Muso. The only, well, and also there's parts shared between 01 and Arc 1, technically to some extent. Kind of leaving Zetsu as kind of like the odd man out here, if no one with an exact repaint. So, very interesting wave layout. It feels like it kind of gives us an idea of what to look forward to. I hopefully would think. I feel like any toy line, like with a wave 1, should really set expectations with what their waves are going to look like with that wave 1. And be like, and kind of like answer questions with the wave, basically, and what they're doing. So it's like, hey, we've got a mix of Showa, Heisei, and Reiwa riders here. Nothing's exclusive in terms of our chase figures. They're just variants of figures that are already in the wave. Which is unlike Galaxy, because original Rider Galaxy, like, most of the chase figures were brand new figures. I believe it was like Fever Boost, Blaster, or Fever Boost, Vice Blaster. Nah, I can't remember offhand without looking at my notes. 1 second, I'll check my notes. I have all this wrote down, I just don't have it in front of me. So 1 second. Yeah, Fever Boost, Blaster, Rabbit Dragon. It's those 3. Is there another wave I'm missing? Or did I skip over a wave? Yeah, it's those 3. And the other 3 are not, which is Fujin Sword, Oztajador, and Geats 9. So we got 6 waves of Galaxy. Oh, and I guess +1 with Shining, because Shining was Jamashin Buffa over Shining Buff, over, like, Fever Buffa. So, yeah. Very excited to see this. I feel like Frozen Stratos asked this question in Discord, and I didn't have much of an answer for him. Of, like, swapping over from Soto to Blockies, and, like, I basically just had to ask the question. It was like, well, what do you want out of, like, the line, basically? Because I feel like, like, that's the question I'm asking myself when it comes to Rider Blockies, since I love Soto. I'm basically gonna be with Soto until the line dies, and there's no equivalency of it to keep going. But with this, since, Like, it gives us Muteki, it gives us Ichigo and Nigo, it gives us like Arc 01 and then Getem Musou. That's like the start of a nice little display, I think. Because in my head, instead of like how I have Soto and Shoto at the moment, which is like broken up by series or every couple of series that I like. I think for like Galaxy Blockies, what I would want is like, I guess that progression shelf that I've always had in my head. So it'd be like, here's of like maybe an all-righter progression shelf, or at least with maybe like final forms taking the spots. So it'd be like, here's Ichigo through J, basically in their base form, since that's their equivalencies. And then maybe like everyone forward from there is in final forms or equivalencies of final forms if possible. Maybe at least just the main writers, because secondaries are like in that, well, what the fuck is their final form? I don't know. Pick one. Half of them, that's a question. Half of them, that's a certainty. So yeah, that is our look at that. Additionally, as a part of the Blockies Wheels Transformers 3 photos and stuff, like promotional images, we've got confirmation on Blockies Wheels' CTO2 and CTO3. Basically, CTO2 is going to be Nemesis Prime. Or not Nemesis Prime, Shatterglass Optimus Prime. My bad. It'll be a Shatterglass Optimus Prime, which is what's depicted here. And then CTO3 will be Motormaster. Which, if you're going, isn't that just 3 trucks with 3 trailers? And I go, yes, it is very much basically the same truck with the exact same trailer with different decos. But at the very least, it's all the Stunticons. For those that would desire that in Blockies Wheels. That's all your Stunticons. And if you desire a trailer, oh, hey, look, it's Prime with his trailer. And then it's Evil Prime with his trailer. One of 2 Evil Primes. It feels weird to be like, yeah, we have Evil Prime in 2 flavors. We have Evil Prime as just a dark version of himself, and then Evil Prime if he was just, like, straight up evil. It's weird that we have, like, 2 flavors of an Evil Prime, and I don't know how easy it is to distinguish between the 2, to be honest. Now, the last few days, we've gotten a look at more Lego Pokemon. So, from the folks over at BrickTap, we have 3 Smart Play compatible sets. These do not have the Smart Bricks. So we have Gengar and Cubone here with some stuff. Then we have a Charmander and a Geodude. And then we have a Jigglypuff. Some of these look okay. Some of them not so much. Like, the Charmander looks a little odd with the extra bit for the mouth. The Jigglypuff, something about those eyes just is like, nope, you fucked that up. The Geodude looks fine, but he's a ball, basically. The Gengar looks okay. The like I said, the Cubone looks fine. All the extra little bits are like, eh. And we also got a proper Smart Brick set, this time with Charizard and Jolteon. Why can't the Jolteon not move its head? Why'd you shove the Smart Brick in its fucking throat? And why is the Smart Brick now Smart Dick on Charizard? So yeah, that's what we're looking at. God damn it. So yeah, there's like more Lego Pokemon. Now it's the Smart Play stuff, which I think is basically what we're expected to have, because it seems like, I think Lego Pokemon is supposed to be split basically into, here's your 18 plus sets and then here's your smart play sets. It's like, wow, no good options here. All of these are going to be expensive. So, it is what it is. But I do have better news. Discotech is having announcements next week. I'm presuming it will be, what was this, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday of next week. They didn't specify how many announcements and stuff. But they've done 2 clues. Here's your first clue with Toast Water. And here's your second clue with, John Luck Picard. Like I said, they don't have much about this, but key thing here is, as they noted, as Justin Svakis said on Blue Sky, they do have a disco stream set for Otakon, which is July 30th through August 2nd. It's in the July going in. It's like the last weekend of July, basically. And they say it's going to be long. It seems like they've been basically stuck waiting on approvals and the like. And so material has basically backed up to be like, well, we've done work. We kind of just have to wait. We're stuck waiting on a bunch of stuff. And it seems like a bunch of stuff is finally cleared across the board. So big stream basically planned for Otakon. For reference, I guess if you're attending Otakon and want to go to their panel, which I don't know, you can look up if that information is available at the moment. The Otakon panel that they'll have will be shorter than their stream, because what they did last year for Otakon was they had a panel that was like a selection of the titles they were going to be announcing that night. Basically, it was going to be, these are the things people at Otakon are going to be the biggest, most happy and excited about. So this is what we're showing at the panel. But then everything else was shown, everything else plus that material was in a pre-recorded video on their YouTube. So for those of us not attending Otakon, you will be watching that pre-recorded video premiere at the same time as that panel, and depending on how things line up, we'll basically be seeing the same things up until the panel ends, and then we'll be getting extra stuff on top of that. It was about 2 hours, I believe. So there was 2 hours worth of announcements, so it's a lot. And I think I guesstimated that, like, if they were going to do dailies, like 7 to 10 announcements are going to be the most we're going to get out of this batch, because it will be just a batch announced on Blue Sky since they didn't announce a stream video with that. Extra note. They only have 3 things that they have announced that they have not slated for release just yet. Pulling up my notes on this. So, Monster to Complete series, which they announced at Otakon last year. Zekapon Complete Collection, which I think got announced in a different live stream. I think it was like a New Year. I don't know if it was a New Year's live stream, but it was like an end of year live stream. It was one after Otakon. And then Sergeant Frog movies, which I believe was announced in one of these kind of Blue Sky threads. That's it. That is all Discotech has that they have announced and have not released yet, or have not slated for release. Everything else has been slated for release. Like, the last things they have to release is basically everything you see here. So, the Nana movies, Hanayoi movie, Higurashi Kai and Rei, Come Murder Stronger, Pat LaBar, Lady Oscar, and then TV Special Collection 2 for Lupin. I would assume Collection 3 is going to be in this slate, so one of these has to line up with Lupin Collection 3, Lupin TV Series Collection 3, because they've announced them consistently since all the work is done on them. They're just putting them into one package and putting them out the door. So I assume another one of those is going to be in this batch. As for what else, I have no idea at this point. They could announce Skyrider, which is the next Show Era series. There's 6 Metal Hero series left, I believe, that they can announce. There is, I believe there's a couple of Generation Kikaider titles that they have not announced yet that they clearly have, like, the rights to do. Since they've done everything else and they have all the bonus stuff and extras from those releases. So clearly they have it. They just haven't released them yet. I think it's like an Ozyman and maybe an Ozyman Flash, I think, or something else. I forget what exactly it is. It might just be an Ozyman. But they've done and released everything else that they've acquired from Generation Kikaider's archive. Or Generation Kikaider's releases. I'm not well versed in anime to know. I think the best I can offer is, well, we know a lot of stuff, and we know where the major tokusatsu franchises are at the moment in terms of like houses for release. So we know Rider is kind of split between Shout Factory and Discotheque. And Media Blasters, between the 3 of them. Media Blasters has done the Shinjin OJ trio of movies, and they did Kamen Rider the First and the Next. I don't know if they have the ability to do any more. We'll see. Shout Factory is currently doing the simulcast for Zets, so presumably they have the ability to release sets on Blu-ray when that's done. They've also had the original series and not put it out on Blu-ray, and they have a bunch of other shows that they've done. Discotheque's been doing the Show Era series in order since from V3 forward, besides besides skipping the Black and Black RX. So that's why I say Skyrider's probably next. Which doesn't give them that many shows left for Show Rider. So we'll see. Super Sentai presumably still is at Shout Factory, since Shout Factory were the ones doing the DVD releases for them. Or doing the, DVD, was it DVD? I think it was DVD releases for them. They were doing the box set collections for them until they stopped randomly, along with their home media rider releases. So, who the fuck knows? Ultraman's over exclusively at Mill Creek. Just forever, basically. And that's not going to change, I would think. Garo, because of basically the one person at Media Blasters, the one person in charge of Media Blasters, has basically said they have all of Garo outside of the animated shows. So Garo is going to be over at Media Blasters, which doesn't leaves us with a lot of just other miscellaneous Toku stuff, like stuff like Ryukendo, the Tomika Rescue Force and Fire shows, other Ishinomori Tokusatsu series that Toei did. I'm trying to think of, oh god, why am I blanking on the name? Technically Nazaman, like the Chodyne Skydyne, Potrine, amongst others. And then like any sort of indie tokusatsu. And like I said, I don't know anime enough to even begin to speculate. I know someone had the idea of like Pretty Cure, and I'm like, that would be neat. But I was like, would someone have first dibs on that? Technically, Crunchyroll would have first dibs because they do the simulcast for Pretty Cure, but they have done no home media releases for any Pretty Cure show. So, guess not. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at on the moment. We'll talk about this next Thursday, basically. Since next Thursday will be when, or next, it seems like next Wednesday will be when all these are announced, unless they push it back a couple days. So yeah, that is all I wanted to talk about offhand. Like I said, I've not felt great for the last couple of days. The not great thoughts have been, it's been like digging in, and I've not felt good because of it. It's the thing from this morning didn't help either. I had an interview, and when honestly, I feel like I flopped it real bad. I honestly, granted, I don't think I've ever done an interview good. I think I've flopped basically every interview I've ever fucking had. So that's not anything new, but it doesn't. It still fucking hurts when it happens. Also, fun fact: since I organized my folders and stuff, all my assemblies are broken now, and I have to go fix them every time I open them now. Hooray! All right. Okay, we need basically the little extra bit that's on the end of the bow gun. We're gonna make that, and we're gonna make the little trigger portion. I need that open. That gets me the other stuff as well, but I need that open specifically. Yeah, we're gonna make those 3 things. They probably won't take super long. And then we're just gonna call it a night, because I probably need to just... I need a full night's sleep. I don't know if I'm getting that anytime soon. Because like I said, whatever reason, my body has just been like, you've got 4 hours of sleep. To bed with you. Time to wake up. It's like, why? Why do you do this to me? Shoot. I didn't make one that size. Also, there's a thing in my downloads folder I need to delete. I forgot to delete. I also forgot to delete those things. Shoot. I don't really want to eyeball this. All right, 1 second, folks. I have to I've got to throw open the Photoshop real quick. I forgot that the reference photo I mocked it, or I cut down didn't have the side view for the bit we're drawing. So I gotta make that real quick. Should be... Uh, no. I am fried today, clearly, because I am not clicking right buttons that I'm... Clean up the things I want right here. I am frazzled and just all over the... Need to... make the canvas bigger just to shrink it back down. This. Trim it up. All right. Token 2 copy. Oh, I don't. All right. Hour in business. I'm just gonna assume that's circular right there. I have no idea otherwise what's going on there. I'm just going to assume this as well. Not the point. Not those, because they're technically... We would not need to be. Of course it's not. No, I don't need sort of measurement. Hmm. Uh, Um, that works surprisingly. Like that. It's ever so slightly. Help! Fuck. It's a problem. Of course, everything's gonna be difficult. Okay. And out. Back from another ring. Actually, Get to probably have to upscale this. Might be big enough now. That is not center, is it? All right, so 4.5. So what's half of 4.5? That's center. Point 2.5. 0.34. Yeah, what? That's gonna be close enough. Granule on it. We'll take it. To make it a little thicker. It's fine. Snack it up just a little bit. That'll do. Thanks, Internet, for just dying completely there. Okay. There's the barrel. Now we need the little pull string. I will probably just like freehand this size on this and just roll with it. Oh, no, I don't. This, yeah, those are the same. So I just put this in here. Back to the base. Copy that over. There we go. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's our shape. That is a 2mm hole. It could be a little shorter. That's, how far away are we? A millimeter, so it's needs to be. Fantastic. Two, 5, 3, 5. There we go. There is... Oh, good. Hooray. This is need to make a pommel for the sword. I might as well throw all these in an assembly. exit some of this stuff. The rod may be too big. Well, if I'm putting that pommel, I'm gonna have to put in the assembly of it with the pommel, so no point in doing that just yet. So new arch. Let's see. 7, 6, 4. We'll just take pommel from about there. Um, that's a. Oh, wait, sorry. I already sized it down, so just need to come in the up here, center, center, center. that'll work. Hey, Charizard, how's it going? Oh, what's next week? Oh, that is next. Oh, that's next week. Nice. Nice. What was the shiny? So funny thing about that. When I was grinding for something, I forget what it was in X and Y, way back in the day, when I was doing my get every final evolution of Pokemon, that was the exact same shiny Pokemon that showed up when I was grinding. I think I was grinding eggs for a shiny something. It was just randomly in the grass. It was a true odds shiny that I was not even looking for because I was busy grinding eggs. Apparently there's something about Graveler. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm the true odd shiny friend that just will pop up when you least expect him to. Oh, I should put the... Nope. Not the correct button. I should... That'll do. Here. I haven't saved this. Get out of this. For the disassembly. To this assembly. And then drop this in here. Alright, that's all the Kuuga weapons done. Maybe I can get to test printing everything sometime next week or so. And the internet dies as soon as we're done. Of course. Thanks, internet. Yeah, that doesn't drive me up the wall on a weekly basis. How the internet just dies randomly over and over again. For seemingly no fucking reason. That's not stressing me out at all. Alright, I'm gonna check Waki's Weibo and the like real quick. There. Nothing there. I know Persona 6 apparently like had a small leak of like some what looks like be like concept art and some couple of storyboards and I guess a file list, which I'm like, ah, cool. That's neat. Doesn't really tell us much about the game, honestly. I'll wait for the internet to stabilize out here in a second. All right. Maybe we'll be stable long enough. All right, that's gonna do it for tonight. Since I took a break on all this, I think next week we'll start Agito Kemi. Run through that. Just sitting here waiting to end the stream. Because my internet can't stabilize long enough for me to end the stream. Come on. Fucking stabilize. Fuck's sakes. Come on. Fucking stabilize. Are we done? All right, then. Finally. All right, so next week we'll do the Agito Kami. We're starting the Agito Kami. But between now and then, tomorrow it is Tonka and it's Hypergrind, I think. For Tales from the Cube. Yeah, Tonka and Hypergrind for Tales from the Cube. Saturday, hopefully us ending off Cursed Halo 2. Sunday, TGS before all of the summer game showcases and stuff. Maybe I'll put something together for that stream. And like I said, next week is Octo. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Exclamation point YouTube chat, YouTube archive for this and all our other streams. Exclamation point social and chat gets my handles for our social media so you know when live. Exclamation point doesn't run chat, doesn't run. Drop by, say hi. See you tomorrow, folks.